It's Chris with Implied Music, and today I want to talk about dissonance in melody, in good melody, in diatonic melody, in pop songs, in art song, in classical music. We've been talking about dissonance in chords and in arranging, but the truth is, a good dissonant note in a melody adds all kinds of juice. Let's look at a few songs today and just break it down. Well, I'm at the piano because honestly, this is sort of how I think about everything, is at the keyboard. And I think about melody in relationship to harmony, especially when I'm thinking about dissonance. Now, I love to play Bach chorales. And we'll just take a look at this one here, number 361. And the melody is very, very simple. We're in the key of G. The C sharp there tonicizes the D for a moment. And the harmony picks up each melodic tone. Now, no doubt you can hear there are moments of tension and release in the harmony and also in the melody. This is kind of an old-fashioned, this is a Baroque harmonic counterpoint, and it's not how we do things now. Let's look at another tune by another great classicist, Kurt Cobain and Nirvana. Now, I know you guys know this tune, Smells Like Teen Spirit. It has a really strong repetitive chord world. And the sound of that implies that scale. Each of these chords, and they're really just power chords, they're fifths, right? Has a relationship to each of the notes in the scale. For instance, if I play this F chord and play an F, it's not a dissonant tone, is it? But listen to what Kurt does. That's a tonic, third, back to the fifth, and here's the ninth. The C against the B flat, the major 7 against the B flat, and he finally winds up on the G, which is the ninth again. A clever use of dissonant tones, the ninth, the major 7, the sixth, against a really strong I could do this all afternoon, so, right? That thing, that's the ninth down to the root. That's the essence of that song, isn't it? Now, let's look at another American songbook standard, which kind of uses some of the same tricks. Let's look at But Beautiful, right? So this gorgeous G major song lives, the melody lives on the ninth. So we have this leap to the A. The very first note in the song is essentially a dissonant tone. We're in G major. And we get a leading tone to the fifth, C sharp up to D, and then the leap up from there is kind of like, we have to think of that as an escape tone, right? We're on the A, and the A is the ninth in the G chord. And then right away a 2-5 to A minor. And we do exactly the same thing. Leading tone to the fifth and the ninth of A minor. We've done this. The repeated motif, that little phrase, ba-dee-da, ba-dee-da, validates the dissonant tone. It's just so genius. we get to the first ending, but beautiful, the A again has a B, the ninth, as the melodic tone. Well, let's continue into the next section. D7. The same note, B. Did the dissonance evaporate? No. That's the 13th of the D7 chord. And finally we get a major third on the G chord. Hallelujah. There's the ninth. There's the ninth. It goes to the seventh. And now we're at the second ending, and that's the ninth again. That dissonant tone, does it evaporate? No, it continues to be a dissonant tone. It's the 13th. I love that F7 there. And there's a little bit of an apology at the end. A little bit of an apology melodically. Well, here's what we just discovered, I think. The 9th and 13th, the second step of the scale, the major scale we're in, the 6th step of the major scale that we're in, has a really important place in dissonant melody, right? We saw it in But Beautiful just now, everywhere. And we also saw it in Kurt Cobain's song. So here I am in the key of C. And here's a D. It's the second step of the C scale and is the 9th to this C major chord. And now the D is the 6th to the F major chord. And now the A is the 9th to the G chord. And now the 9th is now the D is the 9th to the C chord. So I just went 1 chord, 4 chord, 1 chord, 5 chord. Listen to the way the D sounds on the top of all those. Beautiful and interesting, isn't it? Let's listen to the way the 6th step of the major scale, that's an A in the C chord, sounds against those primary chords. So C chord. It almost sounds consonant, doesn't it? How does it sound against the G chord? Back to C. And it sounds great with the F chord. Judicious use of those dissonant or sort of oddball tones from the scale, not chord tones, right? And not using them as passing tones. Here, the proto-melody of all proto-melodies is Three Blind Mice. And it's ordinarily harmonized like that. 1, 5, 1. But the D, really kind of a passing tone. I can go, right? I can just leave a C chord. But what if we don't use non-chord tones as passing tones? What if we just live on them? We're seeing this all the time now, and I think I remember seeing an Andrew Wong video a couple of years ago where he was basically saying it's the 9th, right? It's all about the 9th. And I remember breaking down a Harry Styles song last year and thinking, he's just sitting there on non-chord tones. They are dissonant tones to the harmony, and yet they're so powerful. They're expressive and evocative. They may be a little bit hard to sing, but not terribly, because probably they're in the scale, right? So if you're a top liner, you may be really comfortable singing along with chord progressions and creating new melodies. Notice how often you choose to sing a chord tone versus a non-chord tone. Notice where you put the emphasis. Is the accent in the measure on a chord tone? Is the accent on a non-chord tone? Are you courageous enough to sit on a non-chord tone on the 9th, on the 6th of the scale, and just let it be vibrating, creating some friction and excitement against the harmonic progression? Michael Stipe's a genius at this. I love this song, But Beautiful, and of course, Smells Like Teen Spirit, a great example. Well, I hope this has been useful. Like and subscribe and ding the bell. You'll be notified when I do my videos, and I'll see you next time.